I'm Brandie Reismann, and I'm excited to share findings from our scoping review exploring the impact of bicycling on social, affective, cognitive, and psychological well-being. This work was developed in collaboration with Lauren Shuck and with contributions from Dr. Esther Walker, Dr. Kian Brown, Dr. Sean Wilson, and Dr. Seth Wiafi. Bicycling, whether on roads, trails, or stationary bikes, has long been recognized for its physical health benefits, but it's increasingly gaining attention for its role in supporting other aspects of well-being. As interest grows in the relationship between movement and mental health, bicycling has emerged as an accessible and sustainable activity. This scoping review maps existing research on bicycling-related interventions to better understand how they can be intentionally used to support social connection, emotional health, and psychological well-being, with the goal of informing real-world practice and programming. This scoping review followed PRISMA SCR guidelines and used a comprehensive multi-database search strategy combining bicycling-related keywords with health-related terms. The search was refined using Boolean operators, mesh terms, and filters to identify studies from the last 20 years that used bicycling as the main intervention to influence social, emotional, cognitive, or psychological well-being. A total of 89 studies met the inclusion criteria. We observed several notable trends in the literature. 82% of studies were conducted in indoor settings, and 80% used stationary bikes, indicating a heavy focus on lab-based or controlled environments. Cognitive outcomes were the most commonly studied, appearing in 54% of the literature, and over half of those used EEG in tasks like the Stroop, flanker, or auditory oddball. Despite growing interest in emotional and social health, only 12.5% of studies examined social outcomes, and just a small subset measured depression or anxiety, typically via self-report. Demographically, 67% of studies focused on adults aged 18 to 55, with limited inclusion of youth or older adult populations. The majority of studies utilized short-term rather than long-term interventions. These findings highlight gaps in the literature. For example, we noted inconsistent use of bicycling-related terminology, which led to many studies focusing on general health cycles or outcomes rather than bicycling-specific interventions. We also noted a lack of consistency in how outcomes were measured, especially in emotional and social domains. Participant demographics were often underreported, particularly for racially and ethnically diverse populations. In many community-based interventions, there was little clarity on the dose of bicycling being prescribed, making comparisons difficult. Overall, this review highlights promising cognitive benefits, but underscores the need for more inclusive and community-based research. The field remains fragmented, with short-term indoor interventions dominating the landscape. To fully understand bicycling's potential as a psychosocial intervention, future work should prioritize outdoor settings, long-term study designs, and greater inclusion of underrepresented populations, particularly regarding age, gender, and racial and ethnic diversity. And that's where you come in. If you work in research, education, or mental health programming, we'd love to connect. Together, we can co-create more inclusive, real-world bicycling interventions that promote psychosocial well-being across the lifespan. Scan the QR code to join our Outride research pool and get involved.